It's really neat to be able to step on a project site and it's just dirt. There's piles of dirt, there might be concrete chunks, and then you just know that 6 months later or 12 months later, there's gonna be a building and asphalt and concrete and landscaping. And so it's one of the most fun things for me is to be able to go through that process. And now that I've done it enough, it's amazing because you get those milestones and you get a feel for, seeing something that's on 2D prints come to life and then to be able to step into it later and it's done. Not to mention it's really fun to drive by with my family and my wife in town and go, I built that. I'm Ryan Demello. I am from Corvallis, Oregon originally, and I work for a company called Outlier Construction in Medford, Oregon as a project manager. So I help facilitate the entire construction process. I estimate for them, I help run the jobs, I help deal with the field coordination, do with a lot of client relations, and yeah, it's a fun job. We build things. My biggest thing was I didn't always want to be behind a desk, but I also didn't want to be on my feet doing manual labor the entire day. So buildings excite me because every day it's different. You have new challenges, you have some of the same challenges, but you also get to see progress. And that's probably the most fun part about what we do is, you'll walk in the job site one day, you'll walk out there the next day and it's a completely different project. So that's the most fun thing for me. I've got 11 jobs that I manage currently. So I always like to say the term, it's better to be proactive than reactive. So a lot of what we do is planning. It's scheduling, it's getting ahead of issues. I will facilitate coordination meetings with subcontractors and with my superintendents in the field to hash out any issues we might have. We do a lot of coordination meetings to plan for future events on site. It's important to keep yourself organized. That's how you survive. You can get lost in the weeds really quickly, but I think the most important thing to remember is you may be the smartest person in the room or you may be a smart person in general, but you may not always be the most knowledgeable person. So most of what I do isn't me spouting off all the knowledge that I know, it's leaning on those that I know have the resources and the tools to get us the answer that we need. Your network is your net worth. So it goes so far building these relationships with your subcontractors and with your clients, and it's building that foundational relationship of knowing that if there's something I can't get to or something that maybe I missed, they've got my back. So that's why they're so important. I think the things that people look for are good work ethic, taking the initiative and being accountable. But what that means is admitting when you're wrong, admitting when you've made a mistake, but also when it comes time to there being a problem or something that doesn't go, let's say, perfectly, it's approaching it with a solution, not problem orientation. So everything has a solution. We're always going to be able to find a way to get through it. So when something does come up, you have to be able to approach it with that mindset and really, we're here to solve problems. That's what we do. We always say there's no tears in construction. And the joke there is that, really it's not that it's a completely calloused and emotionless trade. There's a lot of emotions that go around every single day. People have emotions and that's dealing with people. But what we mean by that is you've got to be able to keep your head on your shoulders even when someone might say something that irritates you or someone might, question you or question your intelligence. You have to sometimes not just bite your tongue, but also take the high road and just know that, you're going to be able to proceed and excel as long as you don't give in to those immediate emotions. I'd say my biggest piece of advice is just, work hard, put in the time, put in the effort. It's accountability, it's showing up, it's, being a good listener, it's really being there and putting in the time, putting in the effort, and not shying away from the hard things. That's one of the most important things you can do is if you've got a problem or something comes up, it's learning how to problem solve, learning how to face these things head on. If you really want to do something, if you really want to work for it, you got to put in the time, but also be open to new experiences. I think that's why I landed where I landed, was because I was open to try something new, a little bit out of the norm than what my friends decided to do when I was 18. And the people I work with are amazing. I love my coworkers. It's a really fun team to be a part of. My bosses are really fun to be around. They really appreciate and treat everyone really well, really fairly. So in general, the work environment here is really fun. I couldn't be happier.